That's Lofidelic Records here in beautiful downtown Belmar. I was just in there picking up some stuff, so let's see what I got. Greetings, y'all. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to be looking at a recent visit I made to one of my local record stores. Great shop down in Belmar, beautiful beach town. Used to live there for a long time. Can't afford it anymore. But the store is Lofidelic Records right there on Main Street. Really cool store. It's predominantly vinyl. He does have some cassettes, and he has a very small shelf of CDs in the back. And it's a pretty spacious store. He always stocks a lot of great titles. His prices are awesome. I never go in there and don't find something that I really want, you know. He sometimes has DJs spinning records, and he's had bands play in there before. Really cool dude. His name's David. He and his son Ethan run the store. I just really like the store. It's nice having a store down there in Belmar. There used to be a couple of them back in the day, one of which Galaxy was there forever, and they closed down sometime, I think, in the early 2000s or so. But yeah, it's just cool having that shop there, you know. And what's even cooler is I've gotten to know David a little bit over the years here, and he allowed us to shoot a music video for a friend's band in there. And I'm going to put a link down below so you can go check out that music video. You know, he just couldn't have been nicer and more accommodating to us coming in there and sort of taking over his whole store on a Saturday before he opened up. But yeah, it's just a really fantastic shop, great selection, great prices. You know, it's in a great beach town. If you're ever down in that area, swing by the beach, head on over to Main Street and check out Lofidelic. And speaking of, why don't we check out what I picked up? 1982, we get the Surf Punks and their album Locals Only. Kind of a goofy sort of new wave, you know, punkish kind of, you know, almost, the songs are all like these beach themed, kind of like almost like novelty-ish kind of songs, really kind of silly and goofy. I discovered this band from our good buddy JT out in Reno, and he had this record just like sitting on his shelf in the background in one of his videos he was doing. And then he showed a record by them and was really talking them up. I'd never heard of them before. And like a complete coincidence, David at Lofidelic, maybe that week or the following week, you know, posted, like most record stores do, posted like, here's some new arrivals that we have in the shop. And this was one of them. And I was like, whoa, that's that record JT was showing off. So I asked him if he could hold it for me, and I went down there and picked it up, basically a blind buy. And the first time I listened to this, I really didn't dig it at all. I was kind of like, whatever. You know, I thought I was going to be kind of discovering like another Southern California punk band that I'd never heard of, something along the lines of The Adolescents or Agent Orange or The Descendants. And this is a lot goofier, you know, and silly. Like I said, it's almost kind of novelty-ish, you know. But you know, I've listened to it a few times since then, and it's grown on me a little bit more. You know, I think I kind of like it a little bit more now than I did originally. Here's the insert, all the lyrics on here. The interesting thing is there's kind of this weird connection in a weird way between two of the dudes on here. Dennis Dragon, one of the band members, his brother is the captain of Captain and Tennille, the like 70s act. And then the other dude, Drew Steele, his stepdad was the captain of the Love Boat, the Gavin MacLeod. You know, like how bizarre is that? But yeah, like I said, it's kind of grown on me since I first heard it here on Restless Records. And I kind of like it a bit more now than I did originally. Some of the tracks that I find entertaining: Locals Only, Shark Attack, I'm a Valley, that might be my favorite song, Spoiled Brats from Malibu, Part 2 and Part 1, Tijuana Weekend, and then they do a cover of Sealed with a Kiss. That's not too bad. Spoiled Brats from Malibu, there's two versions on here. They're the same song. One's just done like a little more faster, up-tempo-y more, and the other one's a little more slowed down, almost maybe a little loungy Link singer kind of vibe to it. The other cool thing on here, you see the big hype sticker. I know a lot of you guys like that kind of stuff. This is a reissue. I guess they came out in like 87 or something. But here, I mentioned Galaxy Records. Up here, the other interesting thing is there's an old price tag from Galaxy Records. So this was originally in Belmar to begin with at Galaxy Records. It went from one record store in Belmar, old school, to the new school record store. But yeah, kind of interesting that that's there, you know. But yeah, not a bad album, turns out. 2016, we get the album Ceilings by local band Dentist. They're a local band here out of Asbury Park. Really good. I don't know when I first discovered them, but it was a handful of years ago, maybe like 2020 or something like that. I picked up a handful of their records. Really good. I have not had the luxury of seeing them live yet. Every time they play live pretty regularly locally here. But I just am never in town when they're playing live, so I just have missed my chance. I really would like to see them. Kind of like a jangly surf guitar sort of sound to them. Lead singer, her vocals are very kind of dreamy, almost like old girl group, you know, kind of sound to them. Here's the insert, all the lyrics. And now y'all want to see the vinyl? I'll show you the vinyl. And there we go. This was put out on Little Dick Man Records. Not familiar with that one. I think they're now on Cleopatra Records. I think they've put out their last couple ones. But yeah, really cool stuff. It's a short record, pretty streamlined, kind of classic, the way I kind of really like it. It's like 10 songs, 30 minutes. Perfect, you know? And just a really cool album. Tracks on here I like. I have to look at the front cover because they're on the front here. Climb Too Many Trees, Awful, Over and Over, Body Slam, Joel, You Say, and Digging Up the Dog. And I pretty much just named almost every song on here. Yeah, just a fantastic band, fantastic record. I'm sure a lot of you aren't familiar with them. I highly recommend checking them out. 1985, Echo and the Bunnymen and their album Songs to Learn and Sing. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with this band and this album. Fantastic compilation of, I guess, pretty much all their singles that they had released up until this time. I think I first discovered Echo Bunnymen, or the first time I heard them, I think was a little later than this. I think they'd been around since like 1980, but I think the first time I remember hearing them may have been, they did a cover of The Doors' People Are Strange in the movie Lost Boys. So that summer, 87, I think might be the first thing that I remember hearing that I liked, that I was like, who is this? And heard that it was Echo and Bunnymen. I feel like I maybe was familiar with the band or had heard the name, but, and then that same summer, I think Lips Like Sugar came out, and that was a pretty popular song on our local, like, college radio stations and stuff. But, you know, they're like that kind of like post-punk alternative. I don't know if they're really, I don't think they're really considered like new wave or anything like that, but they're from Liverpool. That's the, I think the Beatles are from there. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about the Beatles, but I've heard they're pretty good. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, this is just a fantastic record. I bought this on CD ages ago, and I popped into Lofidelic the one day, and they had the vinyl copy there, and I was like, oh, that'd be a good one to pick up on vinyl. There's all your lyrics and stuff. But yeah, just a really, really solid collection of songs. Like, I mean, if you don't know Echo and the Bunnymen, or you don't own anything by them and want to just kind of dip your toes, can't go wrong with this one. My favorite tracks on here are Rescue, The Puppet, Do It Clean, The Cutter, Never Stop, The Killing Moon, Seven Seas, and Bring On the Dancing Horses. I think that Bring On the Dancing Horses was the only thing on here that hadn't been released. And it was originally supposed to be in John Hughes' film Pretty in Pink. And I guess for whatever reason it wasn't used, so they put it on here, released it as a single. But yeah, just a fantastic album. I'm sure most of you are aware of that. 2004, one of my favorite bands of all time, the Muffs. The great Muffs. Punk band, although I don't think they really consider themselves a punk band, but you know, just a great rock band, you know, pop elements to it. The great Kim Shattuck pretty much wrote most of the songs. She unfortunately passed away from Lou Gehrig's disease, 2019. Shocking that it's been that long now. I got to see them live a whole bunch of times, and they always were fantastic live. Just, I've said this a million times before, but their live shows were like part like punk rock show and then part comedy show, you know, because Ronnie, the bass player, and Kim would just, you know, go back and forth like some old like Borscht Belt comedy duo or something, you know, although Borscht Belt's probably an insult. But yeah, I mean, just a fantastic band. If you're not familiar with them, you know, they've got, you know, 5 or 6 fantastic records. Love them all. This one, I remember when it came out in 2004, I was working in New York at the time, and I ran over to Virgin Megastore in Times Square and picked this up and brought it back to work and played it, and just, yeah, just really loved this. Tracks on here that I really like are Freak Out, A Little Luxury, Really Happy, Something Inside, Everybody Loves You, Don't Pick on Me, My Lucky Day, How I Pass the Time, The Whole World, and The Story of Me. And much like Dentist, I think I just named the whole album. But yeah, just a fantastic record, fantastic band. If you're not familiar with them, oh yeah, I showed the insert, right? Yeah, whatever. But anyways, that's everything I've picked up recently from Lofidelic. Like I said, awesome shop. I love that place. So check out Lofidelic Records if you're ever in the Belmar area. Thanks for tuning in. Go watch our video that we shot in Lofidelic. I think a lot of you will dig it because of the subject matter. A few of you out there, like Monty Muse and Chef Steve and Hannah, the Omaha introvert, a couple of them kind of gave me a little bit of feedback or help when I was planning the video for some little bits and stuff in it. So yeah, by all means, check that out. Link is down below. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think of any of these records. Would love to hear that. And see you next time.